Greetings Melimbardians and welcome. Today I'm going to give an opinion on Mixi-chan's newest Dragon Ball Mini Heroes screen pack slash game. This screen pack slash game is based on a different engine, not MUGEN but on Ikemen. For those who are not familiar with Ikemen, Ikemen is a very similar to MUGEN engine that is trying to replicate MUGEN as best as it can. It has a few newer features that MUGEN does not have that does make it a bit better than MUGEN. But I will still criticize Ikemen for lacking a few features that MUGEN has and for not being optimized enough. Ikemen suffers from a pretty big issue of not rendering stages correctly, not rendering effects correctly, that as a result MUGEN seems superior than Ikemen. But if a creator is basing his characters and his content on Ikemen, the result most likely will be excellent, and this is one of those examples. This screen pack slash game was based on Ikemen, which means you will not stumble upon the issues that Ikemen usually has. So, the first thing I'm going to do is turn off the music. Now, the selection of music that Mixi-chan chose is great. It pumps up the action, everything great. The reason I'm going to turn off the music is so the music will not interrupt the flow of this video. I'll start with stating my opinion on the main menu. It's fine. It's very simplistic, not a lot is going on. You can see some of the characters that you can play as. The font is great, I mean it's a Dragon Ball font. The background is, in my subjective opinion, a bit boring. I do believe the main menu could have looked a bit better, but that is something you can argue against. Now, from what I saw, there is no story mode, meaning each character does not have an intro or an outro when you play arcade with them. Hopefully that is something that Mixi-chan can add, maybe add in the future, but as of now, the characters do not have a story. We'll go into training, and I would like to talk about the select screen. I think it's great. I think the screen pack slash game is not over bloated with too many characters, that as a result it allowed Mixi-chan to focus on balancing the game, that when you play with a friend or online the game won't feel broken, or at least I hope not. Now, visually I'm not the biggest fan of this screen pack. Again, it's a very bland screen pack. I do like how you can see the small characters, how they are going to look like in gameplay. I like the big mirror or transparent font behind them. I mean, there are some elements to like, but there's no movement, it's very bland. And I personally believe more could have been done with this select screen. Now, for this opinion video, I'm gonna go with Goku Black. And just for this example, let's go against Frieza. There's different stages that you can choose from, and I really like and appreciate that it doesn't just say the name of the stage, you can visually see what stage you're choosing. That is something that most MUGEN screen packs lack, and I really like this implementation. We'll go with Cell Games Arena. I think this stage looks very nice. The first thing you immediately notice when starting a match is the introduction between both of the characters. They will always recognize each other, they will always say something to each other, which adds a lot in my subjective opinion. I would also like to mention that from what I understand, these characters were 100% made by Mixi-chan. The stages were not made by Mixi-chan, so if you have any complaints against the stages, then do not hold it against Mixi-chan, he is not the one who made them. You can criticize his choice in the stages, but not the stages themselves. The characters have the same speed of movement, actually they basically have the same exact movement. it's a very simple type of movement, very similar to Dragon Ball Fighters. Every character, just like Fighters, has three type of attacks: a teleporting attack, a dash, you have the A attack, the B attack, that you can of course extend if you go up, and C, which pushes the enemy from you. Now, there might be something that I'm not aware of, but as far as I know, C is probably the most useless attack ever. I don't see any useful function to it. It does not knock down the enemy, it only pushes them slightly forward, and that's about it. The damage is very small. I do not see any purpose of this attack. Besides maybe the distance, but I do not feel like it's worth it. Now, when attacking in the air, we have A, which usually knocks down the enemy immediately, we have B that extends the attack, and C, depending on the character, does different attacks. You can of course chain attacks and get results such as this. There is a good amount of variety in different attacks, combinations, combos that you can create. So that's something I really like about this. Some characters can do air specials, some cannot, so every character has their own individuality and do feel a bit different, even though they have a lot of similarities when it comes to movement, some of the combos and other stuff. The command X is a teleportation. This can be used in air, and there's probably a lot of features that you can do, like extend your combos and other stuff. There's a lot of experiment with it, and unfortunately I did not experiment with this teleportation enough to really give a full-on opinion and explain the amount of stuff that you can do with it, but I believe other players will find better uses than I did for this teleportation. You also have Y, which is a dash. As you saw in the combo that I made, when you dash, when you're doing B air combo, you can extend your combos. For example, this is only a 2-hit B combo in the air, but if I use the dash, I can extend it and repeat it. As you can see, I repeated it. Besides that, you can of course close distance with the enemy or second player when you're dashing. Unlike Fighters, the dash does not avoid projectiles. And there's Z, that breaks block. Let's say for example you're trying to attack, but your enemy or second player is constantly blocking, so you want to break that block. What do? You press on Z and you break their block. Now, of course, it can easily get punished by moving just a bit backwards and then immediately get punished, but it does require you to react very quickly. Now, in order to use specials, you need to hold down and press A. This is for one special. Again, with each character, the specials are very different. Down B for the second special. With Goku, for example, he can do this while in the air, but Goku Black cannot do this in the air. And down C. This one, on the other hand, can be done while in the air. And then we can activate the ultimate by pressing, holding down and pressing X. As you already saw in my combo video. So my overall opinion is a huge thumbs up, very positive. I think this is a very fun game slash screen pack with a very decent amount of content that you can do, and if you want a balanced and a very fun Mugen slash Ikemen screen pack to try out, I highly recommend you to try out the screen pack. Download link will be down in the description, of course. Another combo. With that said, I wish everyone to have a wonderful day.